Welcome to episode 22 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. My name is William Fizzpatrick, and, well, we had a bit of a delay this week, folks, as far as getting the podcast up and running. I do want to apologize for that because, for once, it was actually on my end this time around. Of course, last time we had to delay was because of Sal's work schedule, which we managed to adjust so we could do the sumo show. Well, that's actually because you were on vacation, wasn't it?
Yes, it was originally. See, this week's show got screwed up to all hell on both of our ends. First, we were going to move it up to Thursday because, I had to work from like noon to like 6 or so on Friday. Then Fizzy got sick, so we had to push it back to Sunday right after he got out of work. So, woohoo.
Oh boy, let me tell you folks, this past week has been a literal HE double hockey sticks for me as far as illness is concerned. On Sunday, right after I did the latest edition of Cage Side Speaks, the Punjabi Spectacle at the Opera edition, I started coming down with the cold that my folks had the week before. I then proceeded to get stuck in bed for 2 days and spend the remaining several days of the rest of the week coughing my literal lungs out. Figuratively speaking, folks, my lungs are fine at this point. I am dealing still with a minor cough from the aforementioned cold. So if you do hear brief pauses of my microphone muting, that's because I am literally coughing at that point. Do want to let you have a heads up on that one, folks. So, anyway, this is my co-host, Sal Cusmano.
Hey, guys.
And we have got a medley of professional wrestling topics to talk about on this week's edition of the show. And yes, we are going to be doing 2 shows this week. The first show, which is this one, called Flipping the Script, and the second show on Thursday.
Because guess who has to work Friday again? It was me, Sal.
Yes, me, Sal. Yes. It's no problem for us because we've got a flexible schedules.
I bet Pound Sterling, if he's listening to this, hey, clone buddy, by the way, I bet he is the only one who will get that reference I just made. For all the rest of you, I'm not explaining it.
Anyway, our show will be divided up into several medleys of professional wrestling segments this week, starting off with, once again, Sal's coverage of the G1. Then we'll take a little trip back down the trail of the Donner Parties of professional wrestling, and then we will stop off finally at WWE to cover a little bit of what happened on Raw and SmackDown this week.
Yeah. Well, before we get to 7 days worth of the G1, of which I've seen 6 since, as I mentioned earlier, I was working today, so I haven't seen today's. Right before that, though, there's one match from CMLL south of the border we need to talk about. Just very quickly.
Coolness.
Because this past Friday, at the Arena Mexico, which is owned by CMLL, it's pretty much their home base, and it's pretty much like a hockey-sized, basketball-sized arena that seats about 15,000. That's exclusively for pro wrestling. They ran a hair versus hair match, which, compared to our wrestling in the U.S., bet matches or luchas de apostas, I have no idea how to pronounce it, and I probably botched it. I'm sorry. Or bet matches, those are the big things. Those are pretty much like the world heavyweight titles down in Mexico. That's how important they are. And we had a hair versus hair match between Blue Panther and Sam Adonis, Corey Graves' younger brother, who, as we've mentioned before, is a rabid Trump supporter. That is his gimmick. And in that hair versus hair match, Sam Adonis cheated to win. Blue Panther was shaved bald, and trash was thrown at Sam Adonis.
Yes, for those of you who don't know about Mexican lucha libre style lucha de asparas matches, I probably am not pronouncing that right either, but in that, regardless, the 2 biggest matches are mask versus mask, mask versus hair, and hair versus hair matches. They can also do bets for titles or other things. These are really, really big deal matches in Mexico, so Sam Adonis cheating in one of these type of matches is basically like taking a baseball bat to someone's blue Ford Mustang and wondering why the angry mob is chasing after you.
Yes, this was a big deal. Me and a few other people who I talked with, KM being one of them, we didn't expect Sam Adonis to win, honestly, but he did. So they have big plans for him because, for those who don't know, Blue Panther is one of the old guards of CMLL. The dude's like, what, 56?
57.
57. He's a doctor. He can do high flying still, and I'm not kidding. He's very good. But he's one of like the old guys who has a lot of respect. He's very over, very good baby face. And yeah, he was going in there as the defender of Mexico from this evil, rabid Trump supporter who was actually billed as representing Trump.
Mm-hmm. He has a United States flag with the turnip's head on it, folks.
Yes. So to see him lose, I mean, I was surprised we didn't get like full scale rioting.
Well, they probably want to save that for the pay-per-view. You know, the pitchforks, the torches, and the amount of building property damage.
Yes, the anniversario. But yes, that was our little excursion to CMLL. Just a really big happening. And I mean, just a quick aside, how gotten to is Cage from this?
Does it matter if the guy from AAA is gotten to in this particular case?
I mean, yes, because it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like how he acts. I just find it funny because he's all like, I came up with it first. Rah, 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 rah.
Yes, you came up with it first, but Adonis is currently doing it better because, well, he's actually embracing it. You know, he's embracing the gimmick, whereas you're just a giant, oversized bodybuilder who does flips and is kind of completely miscast in the world of professional wrestling. Seriously, go take a look at the Brian Cage match from FCW back in 2009 and then look at him now.
Yeah, he is like a living hunk of muscle. It is like, he is like, I don't want to body shame anyone, and trust me, that's not what I'm about. It's just, he's like all muscle. It just looks so wrong and unnatural. I mean, because it is. Let's be honest. He's obviously on steroids. There was no way in hell he got that body without steroids.
Folks, basically this means that he's not passing a WWE wellness policy anytime soon.
Oh, no.
And like Sal said, we are not trying to body slam anybody or body shame anybody in this particular instance, but even other bodybuilders are looking, yeah, guy, you may be on too much juice.
Yeah, it's very disgusting looking. Like you're not supposed to, humans are not supposed to look like that.
I mean, on the positive side of things, you know, if he has to star one of those sci-fi movie monster films, they don't really have to do much work with the prosthetics.
No. Oh, yeah, no. He'd be great as a giant monster movie. I mean, you know what he reminds me of? Like Rocky from Rocky Horror Picture Show, like the living man of muscle.
Yeah. Well, also, I think he could also do well as the generic Space Marine number 5,973, and they don't even have to CGI his muscles.
Thank you, Ben Yahtzee Croshaw Fizzy.
I didn't even realize I was going Yahtzee there, but then again, you might notice, folks, being ill has made me a little bit salty this week.
Yes.
So I'm going with the zingers when it comes to the worlds of professional wrestling. But anyway, after we made our little excursion, but like I said, who cares if the guy is gotten to or not? It's working for Sam Adonis. It's not working for Brian Cage.
No.
So let's just basically move on to the land of the rising sun because Sal has 7 days of the G1 tournament to cover. Take as much time as you need to, buddy, because I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are.
Togi Makabe defeated Yuji Nagata. This is all day 9, I should say. Sorry, I should have led with that. But Togi Makabe defeated Yuji Nagata. It was okay, had it about 3 stars. Bad Luck Fale defeated Kota Ibushi. Why? I have no idea. It was okay, or excuse me, it was pretty good, 3.25. Hiroki Goto defeated Zack Sabre Jr. Again, why? I've had it about the same 3.25. Tanahashi defeated Yoshihashi. This match was boring, and I put that on tacos. My
So
it's
yeah,
the nadir. Yeah, I had that about 2.75, 2.5.
Okay, so you had Yoshihashi versus Tanahashi. You had a little bit of a microphone stoppage there for a second.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I had Ace versus Tacos, and you know I thought it was fine, about 2.5. Although again, we will reach a day where we reach the nadir or whatever it is, or we'll go through the looking glass. Excuse me. But after that, the last match of day 9 made up for all the rest of the meh on it because Tomohiro Ishii defeated Tetsuya Naito in a fucking awesome match. Like I typed on Twitter while I was watching it. This just in: Tomohiro Ishii and Tetsuya Naito are good wrestlers. In other news, water is wet, fire is hot, and the Emoji Movie sucks.
I don't even remotely care about whatever you just said about that. What do you call it again? Emoji Movie?
Yes, it is an actual movie that poor South of Heaven and got his kids to take him to. He said it was dreadful.
Oh, hey. Misery builds character, as Calvin's dad once said.
Yes, but no, it was great. I had that at 4.5. Great match. Go check it out.
It's the least surprising thing ever. A man who could literally be used as a wrecking ball to smash walls apart.
Yes.
And a man who is the most bored human being alive that has so much talent in his pinky finger that he can actually get a 4.5-star match with Ishii in this particular case is a wonderful.
Good. Ishii is good, man. I love.
I know Ishii is good, but he needs a really good dance partner with him to, accentuate the fact that he is a great wrestler now that Kazuyori Shibata is on the permanent injury list.
Yeah, poor Shibata. That's just sad. I have heard his treatment has been going well for him, and he's doing a lot better, which I'm glad. I mean, he'll never wrestle again, which I don't think he should, but I am glad.
But as a trainer, he will do phenomenal.
Yes, as a trainer, he'll be good. I'm glad he's the treatment is enabling him to live a healthier life. That's always good. But yeah, that was good. So yeah, that was day 9. Then day 10, Evil defeated Toriano. It was a minute long and it was hilarious. I mean, you want to see something funny, go watch this match. Don't really have a rating for it. After that, Minoru Suzuki defeated Tama Tonga. It was a Tonga match. It was meh, 2.75.
But at least Suzuki won, and this also furthered the rift between Tonga and Kenny Omega in the Bullet Club.
Yes. Then Sonata defeated Michael Elgin. I thought it was a pretty good match, 3.5. Then Kenny Omega defeated Satoshi Kojima. This is a match I will get in depth on. I like this match. I had it at 3.5. Most of that was because of Satoshi Kojima. In order to explain my issues with this match, we need to go back and talk about day 8, which had Kazuchika Okada against Satoshi Kojima. In that match, Kazuchika Okada proved why he is one of the best wrestlers in the world, especially when he's playing a heel prick. Smug, heel, condescending prick is the best kind of Okada. And in that match, you know what he did? When the crowd was chanting Kojima, he put his ear to his hand and said, tried to pump him up to get him to cheer Kojima more, completely dismissing Kojima. He, at one point after beating Kojima down, took a chair, got up, and went to the crowd telling him to cheer Kojima more. Pretty much telling him, yeah, you can cheer him all you want. He's not going to beat.
Yeah, he's not going to beat you.
And he almost lost to Kojima because of it. But in the end, he got the win. He was a perfect cocky heel prick. Kenny Omega saw that match and said, you know what? I should be a condescending asshole to Kojima too, and that's what I'm going to do. Only instead of doing things that still kept him in the match, and or at least got the crowd involved, every 5 seconds he would cut to the camera and say stupid one-liners. It was so weird. Like, I know you like the NWO, Kenny. I get that. I know you and the Bullet Club are Neo NWO. I get that. But it sort of felt like you were only in the match half the time. Like there was 2 Kenny Omegas there. One who was wrestling a match, and then the other who was making witty one-liners to the camera.
So wait. Kenny Omega basically became an anime character in this match where you know how those battle scenes in Japanese anime where the 2 characters are just standing around talking and explaining, I have this massive amount of power level. I shall crush you with this. Let me demonstrate by smashing this hill over here with my massive power. Now I shall do the very same thing, scream my lungs into the air, and display my advertisements for hair tonic.
Sort of. It was more like one of those anime where you get those people who do those constant fourth. It was like Deadpool, pretty much. He constantly broke the fourth wall and cut to camera. Only it was like really shitty Deadpool because, fourth wall breaks when done right, they're hilarious. Kenny, sorry to say this, you didn't do it right. I felt like you were disinterested in the match, like you didn't want to be there, which, I mean, if you're trying to be condescending to Kojima, I get that, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to watch you if it doesn't seem like you want to be there.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that particular instance, because Kenny looks like he's constantly bored like 95% of the time, and that he would rather be doing comedy death matches.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I think Kenny can be funny. And, I love his match with Yano, although, because that was a match, like, he didn't really cut to camera at all. Him and Yano just went back and forth and did silly shit.
Sure, but here's the thing. He's working with the sublime comedy thief himself, Masaru Yano. The man is the master of comedy. If he did not do well in front of the master of comedy, then he's going to be thrown into the Pacific Ocean.
Yes. And, this whole thing just, because they were talking on Two Guys, One Sports this past Friday, Pluggo,
Mm-hmm.
about why they like Kazuchika Okada better than Kenny, and their discussion on that reminded me of this stuff. And this is pretty much what it is. Kazuchika Okada was committed in a way to being condescending to Kojima while still being involved in the match. Kenny was being condescending to Kojima while not being involved in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Guess which match I liked better?
But the one with Okada in it, because Okada is more natural as a heel. Even him being a face in this particular instance, he's like, okay, you guys like me. That's a bit of a surprise. I'm the rich Japanese guy that's, the new generation of Japanese people, and I'm their champion.
Yeah. And, that's the weird thing. But yes, Kazuchika Okada had a better match with Kojima than Kenny. It wasn't a bad match, though. I mean, the moves were cool. Kojima is a great, great worker at age like 46, which, I mean, we got to find out what the hell they're feeding the dads and get it to all of the general population. Because, good Lord, they're amazing. But yes, and again, like, I don't think Kenny is a bad wrestler. I just feel like he has some
He is a
flaws.
pretentious art guy that you find working in the middle of an alleyway, doodling on some artwork, and he thinks is the greatest thing ever. 5, 6, 7 stars right there. It's the kind of artwork that would pop the Dave Meltzers of the art world, but make everybody else go, you just splattered some paint on the front of the wall.
Yeah, I kind of see that, although I would say he's kind of like the art guy who actually has a few genuinely good matches. And who can be genuinely good in situations. It's just he can't always keep it, But yes. So that was that match. And after that, we had Kazuchika Okada defeating Juice Robinson in an awesome match. 4.5 stars. Again, watch this match. Juice Robinson is awesome.
And to think, we used to complain about him all the time down in NXT, and yet somehow he has found this awesomeness by going to Japan.
Yeah, I will say this. They wasted, I don't know what the hell happened. If Juice just wasn't motivated, Triple H wasn't playing to his strengths. I have no idea what.
He was stuck in the cult of Full Sail and stuck with a gimmick that really didn't work for him very well. They tried to make him a heel, and he had multiple ACL issues.
Yeah. And here's the thing with Juice over in Japan. He is the most natural and likable baby face.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a beautiful worked punch. I've heard someone mention, I think it was Rev Kane. Might have been Vidance, I can't remember, but he has the best worked punch since Jerry Lawler. And I agree with that. When I see him like work punch someone, I'm like, are we sure he didn't just punch that person in the face? Because my God, he is good. And, the way he does everything is amazing. And I'll touch on that more in another match. But yes, this was another good match. Go watch it. And now we have day 11, which... Okay, I need to tell you this. Before I watched day 14 yesterday, in my notes I had on day 11, this is the best night of so far, up top to bottom of the G1. Day 14 surpassed that, but we'll get to that later. We had Yoshihashi defeating Bad Luck Fale. Now, Fizzy, I don't really care for Fale. I don't really care for Yoshihashi. If I was to tell you that this match actually got 3 stars and I enjoyed it, would you think I'm crazy?
No, you're talking to one of the most insane people on the site, so I think I would say that you're not crazy in the very slightest because, if they told a good psychological story, then even 2 of the most inconsistent workers can actually make a good story.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. They just found some chemistry and it worked. It was a good match. I mean, like grading on a curve for them, a 3-star match on a curve for them is like a 5-star. So, good job to both of you. I have no idea how the hell you guys pulled it off, how the hell it worked, but I'm glad it did.
I believe Yoshihashi has had some good matches in the past with Filet over the past couple of years, and I think doing a deep dive into some of his matches might be worth of a look.
Yeah. So, that was the first opening match on day 11. I initially skipped it, but people told me, oh, no, it's actually really... Because, when I see that, I'm like, my God, it's those 2? I have literally anything else to do. But no, it's actually pretty good. Then we had Zack Sabre Jr. against Togi Makabe, who he beat. Zack Sabre Jr. beat Togi Makabe, I should say. And it was a solid match. I mean, it had Makabe in it, who was either very good or very meh. But this was solid, and, Sabre got a good match out of him. I gave it 3 1/4. Then we had Ishii versus Nagata. Another great match, because Yuji Nagata is a very good worker at age 49. And Tomohiro Ishii is Tomohiro Ishii.
Yes. Point him at a brick wall and watch that wall get demolished.
Yes, 4 1/4. Although I will say, Tomohiro Ishii, I love you, man. I really do. I don't want to see you headbutt people with your in the head. Please. Just please. I don't want to see another Shibata. That's all I'm going to say. I just really don't want to see it. After that, we had Naito defeating Goto. Again, really good match. Goto, Mr. 3.5 star, got up to 4 because Tetsuya Naito can make anything awesome.
Mm-hmm. Miracles do happen, folks. Although I am a really big fan of Haruki Goto.
Yeah, I feel like the thing with Goto, and I think I saw Rev explaining it a day or two ago, I can't remember, was that Goto is a guy who sometimes comes out hot and you think that's awesome, can't wait to see it to the next level, and then that next level it never happens. I feel like, like he's pretty good at that one level. It's just you wish he took it to the next level. Which
I personally don't wish it that he goes to the next level because we've seen the next level with Haruki Goto and it's him versus Shibata. And it's like watching two cars literally crash into each other over and over again on replay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can go to that next level without killing yourself.
Sure, but at the same time, that's what we've seen the next level of Haruki Goto's matches is car crash.
Yeah. I just wish he'd bring it up a little bit. It was still a good match, and I mean, Naito is just incredibly over. I mean, my God. But after that, we had Ibushi defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi. Very, very good match. Gave that 4.5 too. Again, another match. People who haven't seen it, go watch it.
It was Ibushi versus Tanahashi. So basically, Tanahashi faced against an anime character.
Yeah, pretty much. And Ibushi need Tanahashi in the face to get the win because I don't know what's going on here. I kind of see either like two reasons for this new finish, or maybe they both work. One is that Ibushi now has like bionic knees, like made of metal, so a knee to the face from those is going to freaking suck. And two would be because he was tag partners with Kenny. Kenny uses a knee as a knee of the face as his finisher too. So maybe they're playing up the eventual confrontation or something. I don't know. Maybe it's one or the other. Maybe it's both. But that was day 11. Now on to day 12. Sonata defeated Juice Robinson. This match was really good. Very solid, 3 3/4. What made this match for me, though, was Juice. His selling. Now, throughout the tournament, Juice has had a bum knee. I think it's his left knee, but I could be wrong. And when he gets asked to, get searched for weapons, he can barely lift up his knee. When he has Sonata up for a power bomb, hit the one injured leg is barely touching the ground because he can't put any weight on it. I mean, it's that little stuff that not a lot of guys would do that make the match that much better.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. And Sonata is a good worker that can work around, who can work with the selling.
Yeah, Sonata. It was weird in this match. I liked what Sonata did, but for the most part, he just kind of felt there for me. I don't know why, because I've enjoyed him in a lot of other matches this tournament.
Well, the big thing you got to remember about Sonata is that he's not a New Japan regular. Yeah. This is a guy who's come from All Japan, who's worked for there most of his career. There are two very different styles between All Japan and New Japan as far as ring work is concerned.
Yeah, he went from All Japan to Wrestle 1, where he was supposed. From what I heard, they were going to make him the new head guy there. Muto was planning to make him the new centerpiece. Then he went to TNA. That got screwed up. Hello, the great Sonata. How are you? Then he went to New Japan. So, thank you, TNA, screwing up everything since 2002.
Well, I honestly, in this case, can't exactly blame TNA all the way about this. This was Muto's idea.
Well, it was Muto's idea to send him to TNA, yes, as he would come in there. But I think he told TNA, look, don't make him a great Muto ripoff. I'm pretty sure he explicitly told them that, and they did it anyway.
Well, we'll have to. I'll have to check back and see what exactly happened. But like I said, I'm not totally blaming TNA in this particular instance.
Yeah. And then we had Toru Yano defeating Michael Elgin. This match was good for a couple chuckles. It wasn't the funniest Yano match, but it was good enough. I gave that 2.5.
So wait, Yano beat Elgin?
Yeah, he pulled an Eddie Guerrero. He low blowed Elgin. Then while the ref was distracted, then when the ref was looking away, he acted like Elgin low blowed him. And the ref saw Yano first
Mm-hmm.
and disqualified Elgin.
Mm-hmm.
That part was hilarious. The finish was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the battle of the New Japan dads. If Minoru Suzuki technically counts as one, I think the jury is out because he's not really a regular New Japan as much as he's a freelancer. So we'll say the
Battle of the grumpy, angry old men who want to rip each other's arms off.
yes, that's better. And Minoru Suzuki beats Satoshi Kojima. It was a very good match, as you'd expect from the old men.
Mm-hmm.
3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Really like this match. But then again, I'm a huge mark for Minoru Suzuki, and I really like Satoshi Kojima.
One note about this match that was a little bit of a problem was the fact that they didn't connect the story of, Suzuki-gun?
Yep.
That originally used to be known as Kojima-gun.
Yeah.
Because Satoshi Kojima was originally the leader of that stable, but then got kicked out from Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, it would have been nice for them to do that, but they didn't. I will say, though, Tai Chi, he came down there. What the hell is he doing there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the kicks he laid into Tenzin, or the stomps, excuse me, I could have stomped better than he did.
Of course, because Tai Chi is terrible. We all know this.
Yeah. Look, I get you don't want to hurt the old man, and I'm glad, but you can make it look like you're actually touching him. It was terrible. I just wanted, why does Minoru keep him around?
Because he needs somebody to get mauled to death by so that Suzuki can then kill the recipient.
Yeah, I guess. After that, we had Okada defeating Tama Tonga. The entire match, just watching Tama Tonga, who, as we stated before, looks a lot like Roman Reigns.
And Seth Rollins fused together.
Yes. It just made me wish Roman Reigns was there wrestling Okada. It would have been way better. 2.5.
The beloved Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. I honestly wish he was in New Japan. It would shut a lot of his haters up when they realized, oh, wait, this guy can wrestle. Sorry about that. But anyway, yes. Tama Tonga, I don't want to be mean to the guy because he isn't a bad person. At least as far as I know.
Yeah, at least.
But, it's just, he is.
He's there.
He's there, yes. That is the nicest thing I can say about him is he's there. Although I did like his match with Yano, spoiler alert, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Kenny Omega defeating Evil. Pretty damn good match, although I'm putting most of that on Evil. 3 3/4 to 4 stars.
Although, once again, we have to put a little bit of an asterisk on this match because Omega accidentally knocked Evil out with a V-trigger.
Yeah, apparently he did, and then he did the one-winged angel. Now, I don't know if it looked like Evil was knocked out. I don't know if he was or not. I don't know if Kenny didn't know. But, dude, if Evil wasn't knocked out, then Evil is a fantastic seller.
Mm-hmm.
Who deserves even more praise. If he was knocked out, Kenny, why did you put him in the one-winged angel?
Mm-hmm. Kenny, God, I mean, stop handling your phone and yelling at Cornette for 5 seconds and actually remember, please don't knock out your dang coworkers. New Japan has had a bit of an injury bug this year with regards to that, so
yeah.
Can you not?
Yeah. And then we had day 13. Kota Ibushi defeated Yuji Nagata. I had that as a very good match, 4 1/4. Really like that match. Really, really like that match because I like both Ibushi and Nagata. Bad Luck Fale defeated Tomohiro Ishii. It was a solid enough big man fight. Liked it a little better than Fale Tacos. Had that at 3 1/4. Goto and Yoshihashi I did not watch. I was trying to get through a lot of matches, and I just didn't watch it. Didn't feel the need to.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Okay.
Tetsuya Naito defeated Sabre Jr. Very, 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 very good match. 4 1/2. Go watch.
Oh, Sabre was completely unprepared for Mr. Lazy, wasn't he?
Actually, it was kind of the other way around. Zack Sabre Jr. dominated most of the match with the submissions, but Naito got out of it, fought it off, and hit the Destino for the win. It was actually a very good match.
Yes, the Destino, the move that Sabre was completely unprepared for.
Yeah, and then Tanahashi beat Makabe, which I heard was pretty bad, so I didn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then day 14, which I will say on record, for me at least, was the best night of the tournament so far. The lowest ranked match was Yano's comedy match, and I give that 3 1/2. And that's like as a match. Like in terms of comedy, it was fantastic, like 7 stars. So it was great. But Toru Yano defeated Tama Tonga after I'm trying to remember. I think he pulled an Eddie Guerrero on this one too, or no, I think he hit the low blow and ruled up Tonga for the win. Very funny match, mainly because Tama Tonga had scouted Toru Yano and copied all of his spots.
Oh, that was a mistake there, Tonga.
It was hilarious. Like, you know how Yano gets in behind the ropes and yells, break, 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 break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tonga did that.
Mm-hmm.
They both went for the kick pads. Tonga needed to work on his speed and untying abilities because he could not get the kick pad off, but, you know, Yano could. Or the turnbuckles.
Because he is a sublime master thief, and this is the guy, this is his bread and butter.
Yes.
For Tonga, this was basically like ordering at McDonald's.
Yes, and I loved Yano in this match. It was hilarious. They ran around the ring at the beginning, like Yano was coming to the ring because Tonga went in first. Tonga somehow got behind him. I have no idea how. Then he like tapped Yano on the shoulder, went around, did it again until eventually Yano turned around and saw him. They all ran around the ring. Mm-hmm. Tonga actually tried duct tape Yano to the barricade.
Mm-hmm. So they win by count out.
Yeah, he almost did. Or no, Tonga duct taped Yano to the barricade, and he duct taped him there. Yano would have been counted out, but this time he brought scissors.
Because he learned from the mistake of the past match with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, well, Kenny Omega and Sonata, because he got taped up and counted out against Sonata too. So, yes, he learned. He had brought scissors, and he barely beat it. And he ended up winning. Hilarious match. Go watch it. Satoshi Kojima defeated Sonata. Really awesome match. Much like the Yano Tonga match, it had Sonata acting a little bit like Kojima. In that, you know, he was acting like the
heel.
Yeah, excuse me. Well, no, not the heel, but acting kind of like he was acting like a heel, but he was acting like Kojima. He did a lot of Kojima's moves, but in a kind of like dismissive, like I can do it better than you way.
Mentor versus student battle because what was it? Is Sonata?
Yeah.
Okay, Sonata is part of All Japan. Kojima is part of All Japan, and Kojima was an understudy of Kenji Muto, aka the Great Muta.
Yeah, and you know Kojima got this was Kojima's first one in the tournament, so that was interesting. I have no idea what they're doing with the finals. I think it's going to be either Naito or Ace versus either Okada or Kenny. Not much I can say for certain. It might be Evil. Evil might have an outside shot. I don't know, but but yeah. After that, we had Big Michael Elgin against Minoru Suzuki. Really, really like this match too. Michael Elgin got his arm work over by Suzuki throughout the match. Suzuki sent both Taichi and Desperado after him, which I mean, you know, hey, Minoru, love you, man. Really do. Was Zach busy? Like, why Taichi?
Because he has disposable minion. He has a disposable minion. Zack Sabre still's got an outside shot at making the finals, so he needs to keep his henchmen healthy in case he needs, you know, backup.
Yeah, I guess, but still, it's like one of those things where it's like you don't have anyone else. You just have Taichi. I mean, you can't ask Zack Sabre Jr., hey, Zack, mate, I know you got a match tomorrow, but you mind helping me out by beating up Big Mike a little bit? I mean, anyone but Taichi. Anyone. I don't know.
So the end result of Big Mike versus Desperado versus Taichi, which is basically Big Mike versus 2 sacks of flour, ended up as usual.
Yeah. Although there was this one spot where Taichi and Desperado had Big Mike, and they took the arm Suzuki had been working over, and one put a chair. They held it over the apron. Taichi put a chair over it, and then Desperado. I was gonna say Buccaneero for some reason. I don't know. Desperado took a chair himself and hit Elgin's arm. So they completely. It was kind of like a concerto. Then Desperado, for some reason, just threw those chairs underneath the ring. It's like, Minoru had the ref distracted. You don't really need to hide them after you did the thing.
Sure, but he also wants to make sure that his boss doesn't get disqualified in case Red Shoes or the referee was refereeing that match sees the chairs.
I guess. I don't know. It's just New Japan refs have terrible vision, Fishy. We know this. Anything that does not happen immediately in front of them, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I love them. But yes, it was a very good match. I gave it 4 stars. Juice Robinson defeated Kenny Omega.
Oh, look, the miracles do happen, folks.
Yes. Oh my goodness. This was a great match. And I mean, again, Juice Robinson is the best babyface in New Japan. Like pure babyface, not like too cool for school babyface like Naito, you know.
Or Kenny when he's trying to be a babyface.
Yes. Yes. Juice Robinson. My goodness. He actually got cheers against Kenny Omega. People were happy for him. Like, you know, Kenny was pretty much beating Juice most of the match because Juice only has one good leg. You know, Kenny set him up for the one wing angel. Juice got the roll up in the win, and when he got the win, he was surprised. Like the shock of him winning on his face was amazing.
He sold the story of the underdog babyface going against the tyrannical, cool, edgy heel. Look how cool and edgy I am. I've got sparklers on my jacket.
Yes, and he got the win, and it was great. So yes, I gave that one 4 stars, mainly off of Juice. And then Evil defeated Kazuchika Okada. Yes, this was the upset night.
Yes. So basically, apparently what happened is, and I saw the finish of this match, Okada attempted to hit the Rainmaker on Evil. Unfortunately, Evil's finisher, which is the Evil STO,
yes,
was the perfect counter for the Rainmaker.
Yep.
Evil got him in the Evil STO and defeated Okada.
Yeah, the STO is pretty much like the rock bottom. So, yes. And that's how he got the win. It was great. I gave that 4 3/4. Really loved that match. And that's all the stuff I've seen. Now, the results for day 15, which just happened today and I haven't seen yet. Yuji Nagata defeated Zack Sabre Jr. You know, I didn't really read these. I just copy-pasted them because I have most of this written up, and I just pasted this into my notes like right before we started. So this is Nagata's first win. I'm kind of surprised at that.
Well, of course, he went up against the guy who is perfect for countering the arm submissions that Zack does.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. I just sort of figured his one win would be on his last day, which is whenever it is, against his student Bad Luck Fale, because that's his last match. I don't know. Just seems kind of weird. But yeah, he got a win. Ibushi defeated Yoshihashi. Bad Luck Fale defeated Hiroki Goto. Naito defeated Makabe. And Tanahashi defeated Tomohiro Ishii, which I'm expecting that to be good, but I haven't heard anything and I haven't seen it, so I withhold judgment.
Okay, so that was the last 7 days of the G1. So,
well,
how do you feel afterwards, man?
I feel pretty good, but just before we move on, here are some current standings, just so we all know what's going on and who's doing what. Now, Block A is through 8 of their 9 days. So we have Tetsuya Naito at 12 points, Tanahashi at 12 points, Bad Luck Fale at 10, Kota Ibushi at 10. Zack Sabre Jr. at 8, Tomohiro Ishii at 8, Hiroki Goto at 8, Togi Makabe at 6, Yoshihashi at 4, Yuji Nagata at 2.
Okay, and for Block B, we have Kazuchika Okada at 12, Kenny Omega is at 10, Evil is at 10 as well. Minoru Suzuki is at 8, Sonata is at 8, Toru Yano is at 6, Michael Elgin is at 6 as well. Tama Tonga is at 4, Juice Robinson is at 4, and Satoshi Kojima is at 2.
Yes. So I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, geez, I have no idea who's going to go on. I mean, it's really going to come down to Block A. I'm almost certain at this point it's going to be Naito and Tanahashi, one of those two. Block B, I could see it being Okada, Omega, or Evil. So it's probably going to be 2 of those 5 guys will be in the finals. It'll either be Naito, Okada, Naito, Omega, or Naito Evil against Tanahashi, Okada, Tanahashi, Omega, Tanahashi, Evil. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see an LIJ final.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Wow. 7 days of the G1, and we still have how many days left? 2?
Yeah. Well, no. I think it's no. We have 3. Well, technically 4.
Mm-hmm.
We have Block B. Block B still has 2 days left. Block A still has 1 day left, and then we have the finals.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, but that's like the actual matches we have.
Mm-hmm. And the finals will be when?
I believe the finals are next Saturday.
Okay, next Saturday is the finals. So I think next Saturday that would be the 12th.
Yes.
Okay, so the 12th.
No, next Saturday is the 13th, I think.
Okay.
Oh no, it is the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's next Sunday then. I think I can't even remember anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. So basically, we'll have the end results of the G1 on the 17th, which is 17th or 18th, whenever we're doing the show next week.
Yeah, so
mm-hmm.
whatever it'll happen, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that was the G1.
Mm-hmm. And now, folks, ladies and gentlemen, Sal, thank you for covering so much of the show while I was having a bit of a minor coughing fit throughout the talking points.
That's no problem.
Mm-hmm. Now we get to a segment that we are now incorporating into the show on the regular. You might have noticed that last week's title was a tour of the Donner Parties of professional wrestling. Well, we've decided to incorporate the Donner Party antics into our show every so often. And this week had quite a few incidents. First up, we turn our attention to Scotland's Insane Championship Wrestling promotion, ICW. ICW, what the heck are you doing? First, Grado has left the promotion after 5 years of being there under mysterious circumstances because a loser leaves town match stipulation was added to the end of his final match for ICW. Grado lost, so he's out of ICW. It might be possibly due to the fact that Grado is a GFW TNA employee, and ICW has an affiliation with WWE because of their involvement with the UK Championship Tournament. So maybe it came down to a mutual agreement that these two sides decided to leave. But now you have lost one of your biggest, well, technically heel draws at this point, in Grado, who's an incredibly charismatic wrestler, even if he's not the best worker.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into the other problem. What the heck, guys? Why do you have Bram on this roster?
Because they don't care.
I know they don't care, but let's talk about this a little bit. The guy has a domestic violence record that you're now openly incorporating into your gosh dang storylines, and he managed to actually shoot punch one of your employees at ringside during this angle, which left his face incredibly battered, bruised, and had a broken nose. For real.
Yeah, because they're carny assholes. I mean,
of course, they're Scottish carnies in this particular instance.
I mean, I've watched some clips from ICW, and I mean, mainly Joe Hendry clips because I found that guy funny, but, you know, like, here's the thing. Like, losing Grado, I mean, yeah, that's stupid. You know, but that's one of those things where it's like some things happen or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it was still stupid to lose him, but that's not really. It's more like, oh my god, you guys are idiots for letting him go. This is more like, my god, what the fuck are you people doing?
You know, and it's understandable in Grado's case because he had been there 5 years. And, you know, after a certain time, you have to let certain individuals who've been in a promotion for a very long time seek other options. And he is doing phenomenal work with this current storyline that he's doing down in GFW with the Laurel Van Ness angle.
Yeah. I don't watch TNA, GFW, whatever they're called this week, so I don't know.
Well, basically, Grado is trying to keep himself from being deported because his work visa is about to expire. So, in the storyline, folks, his visa's fine, everything's fine. So, basically, what he's trying to do is he's trying to get married to Laurel Van Ness so that he can stay in the country.
I'm not sure if that just seems very, very offensive. I mean, I'm sure him and Laurel Van Ness are doing everything to make it work. It's just one of those stories that I don't think should be a thing.
Sure. But here's the thing. He's got his lawyer, Joseph Park, who's most certainly not Abyss. And we've also got Congo Kong involved in the storyline.
my God.
Congo Kong is a ginormous wrestler who is like this destructive force of nature that was originally brought in as Senna's enforcer during this whole knockouts versus the rest of the TNA roster angle.
Yeah, look, I'll get if the talents are doing their best. I'll say, look, good for the talent. Sometimes you gotta make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Hopefully they can. It's just, it just seems like one of those things that shouldn't be part of a wrestling angle.
Sure, but again, this is TNA, the originators of the Donner Party of professional wrestling. This is a typical TNA angle. This is a Tuesday for them.
Yes.
Or any other normal day of the week. But regardless, ICW is definitely risking their contract with WWE if they keep this Bram angle up. There is a reason why WWE launched Bram into suborbit, but then was picked up by TNA, and then they released him.
Yes, this is a man with domestic abuse issues. I mean,
let's see, domestic violence, DWI, issues with punching undercover cops.
Yeah, and look, they're having guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was once arrested for domestic abuse, and we're not saying that we've absolved him of his crimes.
Of course not.
Domestic abuse is always an issue, no matter who does it. Although in Steve's case, I will say he seems to have never gotten back to that. He seems to have genuinely felt sorry for his actions and tried to become a better person.
Oh yes, he certainly tried to become a better person. He's tried because he's gotten help. He's gotten help with rehabilitation over his issues, his addictions to drugs and painkillers because of his neck issues. He's gotten therapy for his domestic violence issues. All that kind of stuff has happened. That's not happened to Bram.
No, Bram is still, Bram. He still has all his issues. They're making a fucking storyline out of it. I mean, you do know how WWE never once made a domestic violence storyline out of Steve Austin's issues, right? Mainly because it's in poor taste. I mean, not that WWE hasn't done storylines that are in poor taste. I can list off so many of them, it would make my head spin.
Yes, a laundry list of angles.
Yes, but yes, this is stupid. ICW, what are you doing?
Then moving on from ICW, because they haven't done anything else insane this week, crossing fingers crossed and knocking on wood. Let's focus next on there are three things in life that are guaranteed: death, taxes, and Mustafa Ali launching 50,000 arrows at you if you cross him. I now fear this cruiserweight wrestler because this guy has, pulled off the most epic burn this week of epic burns. For those who don't know the situation, a wrestler known as Mr. 450. Gee, we're counting all the alleged domestic violence abusers in this particular show today. Is another guy that got charged with domestic violence after an altercation with his girlfriend at a hotel during WrestleMania weekend. He has also claimed false injury claims about his knee. He tried to get WWE to pay for his medical bills, even though he had injured himself at an indie spot show in Mexico, or was it Puerto Rico?
I think it was Puerto Rico, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yes, this is a guy who almost got into WWE. He was very close. He had worked a couple of NXT tapings. He was almost in there, and he screwed that up. This is a guy who, as we've said, has allegedly committed domestic violence or domestic abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he did a move that Mustafa used to do, and now Mustafa's going to bring it back just to spite Mr. 450, which I am all for.
Yeah, the reason he's spiting him isn't because of the fact that, it's because of the fact that isn't because Mustafa's petty in this case. It's because Mr. 450 is a bad dude, and he's going to take back his move.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue it's a little petty, but it's pettiness I'm fine with because Mr. 450 is a bad person. So.
And every single tweet that Mustafa did was completely in line. Everything that he said was true. Everything that he said and commented on was true and factual. This is a guy that allegedly used to be a former police officer, okay?
Yeah. So, this is one of those things where it's like, my goodness, the tea has been spilled or whatever the term is. I don't know.
I don't care about the terms of what the young kids say. All I know that is that the so-called Mecha Wolf, Mr. 450, is now a pincushion full of arrows because of well, Mustafa Ali launching, as I said, 50,000 arrows at the guy. You know those scenes in those Chinese kung fu films where the scenes where 50,000 arrows get launched into the sky? Imagine
Yeah,
that.
yeah, or like from Lord of the Rings,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like, or like 300. They had
Yeah.
one of those in 300.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
But yeah, this situation is another one of those catalysts of, oh, great, what are you doing? And again, this is a situation where, you know, Ollie is perfectly in the right in this situation, and 450 just basically dug himself deeper by, you know, commenting on the situation and trying to make himself the hero in this.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, never insult a guy's religion or imply that he's been sleeping with other women, okay?
Oh my God, did Mr. 450 really do that to
Yes,
him?
he did that, but he
Oh
deleted
my
most of
God.
his tweets.
Oh my God, really, Mr. 450? Really? So, in addition to possible woman beater, domestic abuser, we need to add Islamophobic
Mm-hmm.
and just general asshole.
Yep.
Hey.
He's covering all of his bases this week.
Yeah, just need to be racist and anti-Semitic, and we'll like complete a little bingo sheet.
Mm-hmm. I've almost got my bingo sheet complete, so we'll have to see if Mr. 450 continues on this rampage of complete idiocracy.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else happened this week? I mean,
there was Xavier Woods' plane story from yesterday.
all right. Let's talk positive Donner Party news on this particular story. Xavier Woods got stuck at an airport terminal. Now, folks, I have been pushing, and this is a category that you should write in for when Observer Awards comes around, in the best feud category: wrestlers versus air travel. I constantly hear stories from wrestlers like Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and independent wrestler Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb about the horrors of air travel. This week's story is Xavier got stuck at the airport gate because apparently they needed some passengers to volunteer to remove themselves from the flight because there was a weight issue.
Yep.
And several customers began to get at it with the staffer who was manning the front of the register office.
Yep.
Who kept her cool the entirety of the event, which began to compare her to a character from Game of Thrones.
Yes. There was this one guy who was like, I'm platinum visa, whatever, for life.
Platinum business executive.
Whatever he was. There was another guy who was swearing, dropping F-bombs everywhere, getting ready to throw a fit. There was another woman who was breastfeeding her child who shot the dirtiest look to Mr. Swearer.
And then there was an old lady who I have dubbed Granny Steeljaw, who decided to attempt to fake an injury to get on the flight.
Yes, who earned the respect of Mr. Platinum Business Executive for Life Man.
The most unlikely tag team in the history of this sport, ladies and gentlemen. Platinum Executive Man and Granny Steeljaw versus Khaleesi from Game of Thrones.
Yes, this was absolutely crazy. It was hilarious. And I just loved it. I mean, who says air travel can't be fun? I mean, it sucks for the wrestlers, but it's hilarious for the rest of us. So.
I mean, like, I actually posted this to Cobb a couple months back. Like, why hasn't any wrestler done an air travel guidebook? And then one of his fans replied with, well, they'll just work us. I gotta say, dude, I don't think that air travel is the one thing that wrestlers will work us on, because air travel is literal HE double hockey sticks to these people. They are going to be 100% actually honest about what they think of air travel, what is the best way to get through the check-in and check-out gates, how to get past security, how to deal with the fact that you're carrying around title belts, which, by the way, are metal.
Yep.
And all the other insanity that comes with checking in, checking out, making sure that you're on the right flight, making sure you actually have a hotel booked for the show, which was another thing that Jeff Cobb had to run into this week. First, he dealt with the terror of train travel in the United Kingdom. Then he found out that his hotel wasn't booked. So a little village in England now has the world's first upside-down hotel.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Still there, Sal?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Oh wow, that was definitely the positive Donner Party incident this week, as Xavier Woods finally managed to get on board his flight and managed to survive the oncoming chaos.
Yep. So, there was all of that. That was pretty funny. Oh, I think it all got worked out in the end, which that's good.
So I guess we're going to cover a little bit of WWE this week. Now, we both of us didn't really watch much of the shows this past week, but which one do you want to cover first, Raw and SmackDown?
We might as well talk about Raw since I actually saw Raw, or no, SmackDown. I actually saw Raw. I missed SmackDown. Like, here's my Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Laying down, just relaxing. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. Better try and wake up. 2 minutes later, I crash and I wake up at like 2 in the morning. So, yeah, completely missed SmackDown.
Although, if you did hear a screeching sound, that was probably from Florida because, well, there was the main event of the evening, which we will talk about. John Cena and Shinsuke Nakamura faced off against one another, and to the shock of everyone, John Cena lost.
Yep. I have seen clips of the match and that one bump John took on his neck, which, my God. Good Lord, that must have sucked. But yes, that was crazy. I hope John's okay. I think he is.
I think he's fine.
But yeah, I heard it was a pretty good match. Not great, but I heard it was pretty good. Yeah, and Shinsuke Nakamura got the win, and he'll be facing Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam.
That should be a pretty interesting match, actually.
Yeah, hopefully Shinsuke ends this stupid Jinder experiment. I'm over it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for the match. I know exactly what I expect out of Nakamura. I know what I expect out of Jinder. And, honestly, this is a match that made some people happy. It made some people very furious because they thought, this should be on pay-per-view. John's going to Raw, folks. He ain't going to be staying on SmackDown much longer, so they needed to get this match over with.
Yeah. And, it'll be what it'll be. Other things on SmackDown included a U.S. title match with a fuck finish. Apparently, Owens knocked out the ref, and then AJ got the win, even though Owens had the pin. He went backstage, and it'll be AJ Owens with Shane as a special guest ref at SummerSlam.
Hey, guys, let me watch out of this helicopter.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be what it'll be, so... And then we apparently had a really good Gable Rusev match, which Gable lost, and they're setting up Orton Rusev, which I mean,
man, karma has hit Randy Orton in the backside badly this year, hasn't it?
Well, you'd think he'd have good things coming to him since last year at SummerSlam, Brock not busted him open.
Sure, but at the same time, it's kind of a relief for Randy this year. I'm like, okay, I got to deal with the oogity boogity promos of Bray and have one of the worst WrestleMania main matches. I liked it personally, but a lot of other people hated the match.
Garbage.
I know. You hated that match in particular. And then Randy's like, oh, well, I have to go put somebody over, huh? Who is it? It's Jinder. Were you guys that upset about my dives comments?
Yeah. Then after that, and now he's going to Rusev, which, he's moving from Evil 4 and Heel 1 to Evil 4 and Heel 2, but at least Evil 4 and Heel 2 can wrestle better.
Well, yes, Rusev will have a pretty decent feud with Orton, and we might be seeing a potential double turn with these two. Rusev becoming a face and Orton going back to the heel alignment.
I have no idea. But it'll be what it'll be. And
I think Randy's got more TV to film this year, so we might have an injury right off.
Yep. And I think that's pretty much all that was of note on SmackDown. Again, I didn't really watch it because, again, I crashed.
Also, I think there might have been the slap to end all slaps by Naomi against Carmella.
Oh, that one sliding slap gif thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that was from SmackDown because I didn't see it. I saw the gif. That gif is glorious.
If you haven't seen it, it's Naomi sliding across the ring and casually slapping Carmella across the face.
Yeah. Like, if you ever see those people, do that, like when they're playing, air guitar or whatever, and, do that sliding on the knees thing. It's like that, only instead of, playing air guitar, she slides on her knees and slaps Carmella. It's hilarious. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much all from SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Good show, I heard, but
Yeah.
it's also improving from where it has been. Good
Yep.
show, and it's setting up some storylines for SmackDown. Also, there was apparently a really good Uso promo because the Usos explained themselves after breaking the New Day's knees.
Yep. And there was that Fashion File segment. I watched that, which they did Twin Peaks this week. So
I do not care for Twin Peaks, so
I
continue.
never saw Twin Peaks. It was pretty funny. It was really weird. Like I said, I never saw it. So it was what it was.
The only thing I've ever seen that director who does all these weird supernatural, invasions of the mind films, was the 1984 Dune film.
Okay. I didn't see that. I have seen Eraserhead. That was weird, but it was weird. I had no idea what was going on, but I sort of liked it. So it'll be what it'll be. But yes, that was SmackDown. It had all that stuff. It was pretty good, but again, I haven't seen it. And like you said, it's been getting better, especially for me in the past 2 weeks, which coincidentally has featured a lot less gender. So there you go.
Let's hope for some more gender this week, folks.
No. And
I'm smiling, Sal.
I'm sure you are. Ready to take enjoyment in my misery, Fizzy. I get it.
Well, it's not necessarily misery, as well as the fact, we'll see the Singh brothers again, because basically they had ringside boxside seats this past week.
Yeah. You know what they should do? Just have the Singhs do stuff. Just like have Jinder never show up, but have the Singhs show up and let them do stuff. I like the Singhs. But yes. And now we move on to Raw, which I actually have a lot of notes on. I think I did segment by segment until the end, which we'll get to. Raw, we start with a Brock Angle promo.
In which Brock Lesnar threatens to go to UFC.
Yep. I mean, WWE kind of had to do this. It kind of helps play up the match. I mean, they're addressing the rumors. I think it was a pretty good promo. Paul did his usual stuff. I liked the promo. I thought Angle was good in this. So I liked that. Good start. Then we had the Hardys versus the Club, where it's a pretty good TV match. It did what it needed to do. And then we had the Revival on commentary for this. And the Hardys got the win, and they fended off an attack from the Revival after the match. So a lot of people were saying it was going to be Club Hardys at SummerSlam. I'm thinking it's either going to be Club Hardys Revival or Hardys Revival at SummerSlam.
Or we could have all 3 teams in the mix for a match.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be what it is, but I don't know. Then there was a Dean Seth backstage segment. Seth wants to get back together with Dean. Dean says he doesn't trust Seth just yet. As we will see later in the night, Dean is still a tsundere.
I don't want to tag with you, Seth. Baka.
Yes, idiot. Yes. We'll get to this one line Dean had later in the night, which was pretty much, I swear to God, an example I could, pretty much like a prototypical tsundere moment, tsundere line.
Has Dean been binging on Renee Young's anime collection?
I don't know. Maybe he's been watching a lot of Nichijou. I know I have. So, yes. After that, Seth and Cesaro confront Seth and give him crap, tell him he's all alone, no one likes him, this and that. And Seth gets a match with Sheamus later. Then we had a Cruiserweight 6-man match, Tozawa, Alexander, and Swan against Daivari, TJP, and Nice. Good little 6-man match. And Tozawa got the win after hitting a senton on TJP. And then on Tuesday on 205 Live, Tozawa got a win over Daivari there, and he'll be challenging Neville for the Cruiserweight title at SummerSlam. Then we had Miz TV with JJ as the guest. I have mentioned many times I was a huge American Alpha fan. Poor Jason Jordan. The Miz talks circles around him.
Well, of course, The Miz talks circles over most people. It's one of his biggest skills. And sometimes, here's the big thing about The Miz. It's also a weakness because oftentimes it often overshadows the people around him.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't really call it a weakness, though. I would say it was WWE was foolish in choosing who they wanted to be Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. Other people have mentioned it. It probably should have been Chad Gable.
I think Chad Gable's actually counting his lucky stars that he can get involved in this angle.
I mean, look, I hate the angle myself. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, Gable was the better speaker of the two.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say JJ. JJ is great. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the saddest thing is if you had a guy JJ's size and with Gable's speaking ability and you just had their same, and their wrestling ability is about the same, you'd have Vince's favorite wrestler right there. Because Jordan doesn't really have the speaking ability, and Gable is 5'8" and 203 pounds.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you're saying that we should put them in some kind of weird machine, fuse them together, or just do what Kami and Piccolo did in Dragon Ball.
Yes, we need to fuse those two. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way we need to do that. Because, my lord, find out however Tamatanga came into being, and we'll do that with Gable and Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. You know, and Miz and them, when they came out, they were dressed to the nines. My goodness, they all looked great. Axel looked great. Bo actually looked great in just the main jacket without the whole vest and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice looked absolutely stunning. And my man, Miz, pulls off the suit so well.
So we have a security guard, his muscle, and Miz himself, and a guy who's going to hand you 50,000 planets on why the Earth is hollow and why bug people are going to take over the universe.
Yes. Conspiracy this, conspiracy that. We're all being watched. Get me more tinfoil for my head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the promo was pretty much Miz wanting Jordan to join him. Miz was going to, help him navigate the... If I can learn to speak, Miz is going to help Jordan navigate the minefield that is WWE politics and all that, help him with that. Says JJ will benefit from nepotism. Miz goes after him, saying he's not that talented, not that great. When JJ refuses, JJ takes out the Miz and the Miztourage. This, I mean, I get they're trying to make JJ a thing, which again, as an American Alpha mark, I'm happy about, but at the same time, I mean, oh boy.
He's stuck with a bad angle, stuck with the Miz as against him in an Intercontinental title match at SummerSlam. Rock in a hard place for JJ here.
Miz in the match will make JJ look like $1 million. Miz, in terms of the actual wrestling, always plays to their strengths. And he tries to do his best in bigging up people on the mic. I mean, he did go over JJ's accomplishments. He did make him out to be a big deal. It's just JJ can't go on the mic.
At least not yet. But we'll see.
At least not yet. He might get there. I don't know. But yeah. So, yeah, this was what it was. After this, we had Seth versus Sheamus. Again, a pretty good TV match. Seth won via roll-up. Sheamus and Cesaro beat Seth down. Dean went to try and help Seth, and he got beaten down for his trouble. We had a Brave Finn segment, which I utterly skipped.
But basically, the idea for this is that Finn is going to bring out the demon against Bray at SummerSlam.
Whoop-de-doo. Do not care.
I mean, it will be perfect. Will be perfect for the artisan community theater people. They'll love this match. Finn in his paint, whatever he's going to be doing for SummerSlam, and Bray and his kooky promos and all this kind of stuff that obviously seems to have been, like we said last week, inspired by Bo's crazy ramblings.
Yeah, probably. I just don't care. Then we had the triple threat match where they were building to throughout the night between Braun, Roman, and Samoa Joe. Great match.
Wasn't there Bailey Nia on this card as well?
Yeah, that was after.
Okay, so the triple threat was first. Okay, continue.
Yep, that match was great. Go watch it. I want everyone to go and watch that. I don't know if you can. Just find a way to watch it. Very good match. Roman got the win after spearing Joe.
So they're going through the motions right now. They're gonna have Roman beat Joe, then have somebody else beat someone else, and we go on from there.
Yeah, I think I saw a preview for Raw. They're having Roman, Braun in a last man standing match tomorrow.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, my goodness. How in the world is Roman going to get Braun down for the 10 count? We've already seen that this guy is almost nearly invincible. The guy backs into a storage unit with an ambulance, and Braun still isn't down for the 10 count. Also, because the referee cannot see inside the ambulance, we don't know if Braun is down or not. Is he going to have to run him over with the goddamn ambulance to keep him down for the 10 count?
Probably.
So expect more cartoonish overbumping selling from comedy bumping from Braun, and Roman doing the best he can because he's Roman Reigns and beloved by all.
Yep. But, that'll be a good match. After this, it was Drifter Kalisto. It was there. The Drifter won.
Mhm.
He's actually no longer Elias Sampson anymore. He's just Elias.
The Elias brand.
Yes, because last names and first names are no longer a thing
Mhm.
in WWE. You must lose them. You have one name. Remember that.
Although I will look forward to the debut of Antonio Langston Sampson to the main
Yes.
roster.
No, Antonio Alexander Langston Sampson.
Mhm.
Yes, that will be incredible.
Mhm.
But yes, it was what it was. And as an aside, come on, Kalisto, look at what happened since you accused Titus O'Neil of not being on the up and up. What have you done since then? This was your first match back and you lost to the Drifter. What has Titus O'Neil done? Helped lead Tozawa to the Cruiserweight title.
Mhm.
Well, two matches for the Cruiserweight title. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, maybe Apollo and Tozawa are onto something, Kalisto.
Sure, but again, the primetime players and the Lucha Dragons feud with one another, so he's not exactly trusting of Titus yet.
True. And now we get backstage to Dean and Seth in the segment that made me the happiest. Backstage, Seth asked Dean why he came out to help him, and Dean pretty much said, look, if I didn't come out, they would all blame me, this, and this. And I'm just like, my God, this was a perfect tsundere answer.
Mhm.
Like, I could have sworn I was watching, like, an anime, and, like, someone asked that, and that was I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
It was hilarious. I loved every single minute of it.
Mm-hmm. I would like you to imagine every single red-haired tsundere character involved in this scene, and it fits perfectly.
Yes.
I didn't want to have to come out and help you, but I had to, baka.
Yeah, I didn't want to come out and help you, but if I didn't, then they would all be mad at me. So I'm going to help you anyway. It was just like, I'm just watching them, just like, will you two just kiss already?
Most of the audience is now hoping for this. You know that,
Yes.
right?
I know Steel wants it. That's her one true pair. Or no, not Steel. Excuse me. Her one true pairing is Roman Dean. Sorry. I almost forgot that. They're breaking her heart with this. Poor Steel.
Oh my goodness, poor Steel Sooner. She likes Roman Dean as a pairing, but unfortunately, Seth has decided to enter into her perfect pairing and
Yes.
completely ruin it.
Yes. Sadly, Jimmy Jacobs or whoever who's writing this, their one true pairing is Seth and Rollins.
So while we wait for the two fan fiction writers to try and take each other out with railroad spikes,
yeah, and there was that. Although, if you want to hear a very good and serious recap of this story and not my funny anime banter on this, go read Things and Stuff's post on it. It's a very good post.
Oh yes. She didn't know that she wanted this, but this was the angle that has brought her back into the whole Shield angle storyline that wrapped up around 2014 or so.
Yep. Then we move on to Bayley Nia and shenanigans. Possible shenanigans. Bayley won by a countout. Nia may have injured Bayley, but it might be a work. I have no idea what's going on.
So basically what happened is this. Nia threw Bayley through under the ropes. Bayley somehow got her shoulder caught under the bottom rope and then proceeded to take a rather nasty fall outside of the ring. And this apparently has caused a shoulder injury.
Possibly.
Now, there are some people who say this is a work. There are some people who are saying that this is a shoot. There are some people who are extraordinarily angry at Nia Jax for possibly injuring the Golden Child. And we have other people that are basically saying, oh, this is just a work. Don't worry about it. Regardless, there will be a medical evaluation this Monday on Raw to see if Bayley is going to be able to compete. If it is a legitimate injury, then they are going to work a Sasha-Nia match into the card next. Yep. So we may be getting Sasha-Alexa 2 a little bit early, folks.
Either that or Alexa-Nia. Oh, joy.
Oh, joy, Fizzy smiles happily.
But yes, I have no idea what the hell's going on with this. My gut reaction is, like, before they announced the whole thing on Monday Night Raw, my thing was this is a real injury. Now I'm thinking this is more of a work.
But we
And then
have to see.
yes, it's more of a work, and this is more or less a way that they could have Bailey win the match and then have a way for Nia to get in it if they wanted her to or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm leaning towards this being a shoot injury that Bailey was injured during the match. She definitely seemed to be selling really, really well, more so than usual. I mean, I know she's a fantastic seller, but I think she might actually be legitimately hurt.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. And then after this, we had Cash Show, which I did not watch at all. You could not have paid me enough money to watch this match.
But I think Cass won in the end because Enzo keeps losing at life.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't care. Like, this is what they went home with. This. Whatever.
Giant versus Giant. It's what they do. And, you know, honestly, I thought this match was kind of enjoyable, but that's just me.
It would help if Big Cass wasn't worse than Baron Corbin. I mean, say what you will about Baron Corbin, and I've said it before, the dude sucks, but he at least has a cool finisher. Cass doesn't even have that.
I mean, I like Cass a lot more than you do. It's one of those situations where I want to wait and see how he does. I like him as his personality seems to be better than, well, Zoe's, who's...
Well, that's not saying much, but yes.
And at least he's trying to keep himself out of trouble, unlike Enzo, because Enzo is either heading to SmackDown or he's going to head to 205 Live.
He should be lucky he isn't getting fired.
Yes. I agree with that as well.
But yeah, that's that, and you know, I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it for this week's edition of Wacky World of Wrestling, I guess. I mean, folks, we're going to cover more about WWE Raw and SmackDown on the next show, which is going to be this Thursday on the 10th. And then we will hopefully be resuming normal broadcasting on Friday the 18th or 17th, but we'll let you know then. We thank you for joining on this impromptu Sunday show. Thank you, Taker's Minion, for joining us in the broadcast in the thread here.
Oh, I didn't even have the thread open. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm tired. I've been up since like 6 a.m. So
that's basically just him complaining, you know, basically saying that the Miz is horrible and that don't hinder Jinder and that he's going to be doing a special edition of Shooting the Breeze on the 19th. Special summer. Yeah,
which I'll be there. I think you'll be there too. I don't know.
Nah, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to attend this edition of the Shooting the Breeze.
Yep. Well, I'll be there at least. So.
So, folks, this is the end of the first of the two shows. The second show, episode 23, as we said, it's going to be on Thursday if we don't have a schedule change again or whatnot. This has been Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. My name is William Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much for tuning in on this edition of the show. Have a great rest of your Sunday and have a good week overall. And you can follow me on Twitter at Fizzpatrick14.
And at Cusmano_Sal.
And we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast today as I prevented myself from almost coughing again. So we're going to sign off here, folks, before I start going into a massive coughing fit. And we'll see you next time.
See you guys. I'm going to get some sleep.
Yep. See ya.